who pulled up for a catch-up. It's really here from 947 afternoons. And if you're here, it means you've got taste. Go ahead, enjoy the moment you missed. But don't ghost me. Weekdays, 12 to 3 p.m. on 947. I'm loud and way more fun in real time. And yeah, there's more audio magic waiting for you right here on Prime Media Plus.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Hollywood Group spokesperson Uvuyisile Ngobese, as well as SAFA head of women's football Dawn Lubisi, all 9 provinces participation. So a curious ear is listening right now and saying, how is that going to work? Because maybe there was a stage where a certain province didn't get any women's football coverage at all. Tell me about that spread.
So we will be taking the festivals to the 9 provinces. Sometimes competition is not as great as it should be because of lack of resources, lack of knowledge and so forth. Those who are playing at your provincial leagues, that's where we work. LFA, region, provincial, as well as national. National is basically the product of everything else that we are doing down there.
As SAFA, I mean, how will you ensure that there is fairness? That there is a bit of balance, though?
It wasn't a matter of saying you have your top 8 in one group. Clearly fair. You saw we're trying to make sure that the competition is basically balanced.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Great show as always.
Great show as always, Rob.
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
It always gives me pleasure to speak to someone who's got such an insight.
Marawa Sports Worldwide. Hashtag MSW.
Well, it did make mention of a very important figure when it comes to cricket in South Africa, because you know what? SA cricket continues to rise. Anybody that's been following cricket at whatever level can rightfully say that. And right at the heart of that journey is the man that's trusted to shape the future of the Protea women. So that's why tonight we welcome a leader. We welcome somebody I call a motivator, a tactician, a coach whose influence is also being felt across the global game. You look at his days as a player, charging in as a fast bowler for the Titans, to becoming one of the most respected cricket minds in the country. I mean, he's built a reputation for creating champions, for inspiring belief and demanding excellence. So now at the helm of the Protea women, he's been there since December 2024? He's guided the side through a remarkable era of growth and fearless cricket and world-class performances, including that stunning run in the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup final in 2025, where South Africa fell. Yeah, it was heartbreaking for all of us. Fell short against hosts India. But the mission is far from over, believe you me. With the new World Cup squad announced, preparations are intensifying and expectations are rising. So the Protea women's head coach, Mandla Mashimbyi, joins us to unpack the selection process, maybe the balance of youth and experience in the squad, lessons from the tours to New Zealand and India, and also the continued rise of women's cricket in South Africa and right across the world. Coach, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me. And good evening to the listeners as well.
I'm not lying when I say that the interest in the women's game has really grown. I mean, I look at it from an SA perspective. It is there. It's dominating. There's talkability, social media. People are very interested in the game. What's changed from it being, it's just the ladies playing, to it being like, wow, watch them play?
Yeah, I think, it's been a world movement now. I think everywhere in the world, people are supporting women's cricket. Yeah. I think women's sport in general, there's a lot of growth there. But I think from a South African point of view, I must say it was a shock to see the crowds in all the fields we've played in terms of when I started and to where they are now. It's almost like every stadium we go to, there's good number of people coming to watch. There's traffic there. So it just shows that the girls are doing something right. And people cannot be interested in something that's not good. So the type of cricket that they're bringing to the pitch is something to behold, and people are willing to support that.
I mean, the good news, which sometimes is a headache for any coach, having to announce a squad, not only just any squad, it's a World Cup squad. That you've just recently announced. I mean, what was the biggest debate when you look at the squad, the selection call, the selections that you've made? What was the toughie for you?
To be honest with you, Rob, I've always believed when I was a player that I need to really get out of discussions as a player. If a coach and other stakeholders discuss you, it might go your way, it might not go your way.
Sure.
But as a player, if you bring in the right mentality, you bring in this hunger to grow, and you actually bring in which is the currency, which is performances, it makes my life as a coach quite easy. But I think the difficult thing is to leave players that you know that have put in the work, and you know, I can only select 15, you know, I can't fit in 23 into 15. And I think that was a tough thing, knowing that you got to leave some players behind. But I'm pretty confident with the players that I'm taking to the World Cup with.
And just given how much of a professional you are, I mean, there would always be non-negotiables for you. So what were those non-negotiables in terms of your selection?
Yeah, I think the conditioning was one of them for me. It was big. Just the ability to rise under pressure as a player. As you know, World Cup brings its own pressure. And a player that's not able to add to that pressure, that's a player that you need going into the World Cup. What happens is that when players get to these pressure moments, they add to the pressure, and that's actually what makes them fail most of the time. So I just wanted players that are wanting to win with the right mentality. And conditioning is big on that, because it actually keeps you thinking straight for longer periods. And so from that point of view, is something that I put emphasis on as a coach, to say, I need these players to be as conditioned as they can be, to make sure that, you know, they can actually go through the pressure moments a little bit better.
Obviously, after an announcement, and I do this across the board, you know, if Russ is going to be making an announcement, you know, I try and read as much as I can to get different feelings and views of, you know, different scribes. Same thing as Bafana coach Hugo Bruce. So we put it at that level, because everyone kind of waits for the moment which players are going to the World Cup. And I read a very interesting piece. I don't know if you saw it, but they were likening you to a Jake White. They were saying that Jake White, when he went to France in 2007 and won the World Cup, he had to almost reverse back and go and get your Osturans and, you know, cement with the older players, bring in that experience to mingle with the younger players as well. And saying that, you know, you've almost now gotten into that mentality, and I'll tell you why that article talks about it in that way. But do you see a bit of Jake in you? Have you ever even thought about that, for that matter?
I think it's a difficult one for me to kind of like make sense of, because I've never met Jake White. I would have loved to meet him, because I know that he's done well as a coach. But, you know, for me, it was not the going back that's important. It's a mixing of players that have been there before and have seen it all and have failed and have stumbled, and they understand the pressure of being in the World Cup, and then joining in with these newcomers or the youth, making them understand what is needed when the pressure is on the day or in that moment. And also, it's not that the experience is everything that I was looking for. It's just the skills that they have as well. That was important for me.
But also for big tournaments, that would be important.
Yeah.
Traveling is important.
Yeah, you need senior players that will understand what it takes to actually compete at the World Cup. I mean, we've done well with the 50 over World Cup, and there were experiences that we experienced as a team there. The things that we've done really well, and it's to continue on that. And then now we're gonna just add a little bit more in terms of the mentality of it as well.
The dynamic, though, when you do that and you bring in a lot of the hardened battle soldiers who've been there before, and you've got the younger players, how do you manage the dynamic within the team, you know, so that there is no divide, so that there is the mix that we see on the field is a mix that's reflected even off the field?
Yeah, so I mean, I've worked with men before, and I'm working with the girls now. And, you know, if anybody knows me, they'll know me that I don't really subscribe to the division of senior players and youth players. When we are a team, we are equal. We're all equal. We're on the same page. All of us, we walk the same line. If you do something wrong as a senior player, is as much as bad as when a youth player does something wrong. When you do something right, it's just as good as when a youth player does. And it's about appreciating one another and actually just respecting one another and respecting the environment, because the people that are so responsible for the environment are the players. So if you're going to come with this seniority mindset, you're going to lose some players and we're not going to be a team.
I mean, obviously, the key players that really caught the attention, from a seniority perspective, would be Marawa Cup, who you've called up. I think everybody knows her form. I can't even talk about potential. Fani Kerk has obviously been brought in. Sabnim Ismail has also been brought in at the age of 37 with all the experience that she has under her belt. Tell me what it took for you, especially with the two that had already retired from international cricket, to get them out of retirement to be part of the soldiers that go to the World Cup.
I think it's about identifying what you need in a team. And I think the most painful thing, Rob, is to know that you have players that are capable of doing something special and they're sitting at home and watching it from a TV. And they're still capable of actually getting on the field and doing exactly what other people are doing or other players are doing on the field, irrespective of their age. You must see these ladies. You must see a Cup. You must see a Shebnam. They move like they're still 25, which is something very interesting for me, because when a man turns to a certain age, he doesn't move as fast or he doesn't react as fast to things.
So the agility is still there.
No, they still have it.
The response time is...
They still have it. And the hunger. And that comes with professionalism. It just shows you how professional they are as players as well, irrespective of their age. So to have people like that who've got experience from a playing point of view and can still move like they were when they were 20, it's a big plus for us.
Was it a tough call for them to then get out of retirement, or was the call for them to wear national team colours, stand, sing the national anthem, be at a World Cup? Was that just a no-brainer when you reached out to them?
No. I like I said, it's part of my duty to identify the gaps within the team. I'll give an example. For instance, Shebnam, because obviously she's hitting the headlines at the moment. Shebs carries something that we currently don't have within our system. And she still plays franchise cricket, all around the world. And she's still doing well. I think last year, 2024, she clocked the fastest ball by a woman in the world. And she still has that. So I don't think as a team we should move forward without a player of that caliber in our team. And all I said to her, I said, listen, you have something that I want. I don't want to force you to come and play for us. It must be because you want to come back, because then I know you're going to give us 120%. And then I said, you call me when you're ready. And that's what she did, I think just after I got back from New Zealand. And she said, Coach, can we have a chat? And I went to her house and I said, listen, these are my permutations and this is what I need. If you're still interested, I'll give you time to give it to make the decision. And she came back and she said, yeah, I'm ready to play for this team, okay?
Did she have to think about it, or she told you right there and there?
No. She has to think. It's a big thing for her. It is a big thing for her. She had to actually sit down and speak to her family and people that are close to her to get to that decision. It mustn't be because I spoke to her. It must be because she wants to come back, and that's exactly what happened.
I spoke earlier about that happened, and we were all excited. We all, even people were biting their toenails in that final against India.
Yeah.
2025. Now, would you say some of those pitfalls and shortcomings, you are now looking at the squad and saying, guys, listen, that defeat has got to now reshape our mindset? Is that the thinking, given how close you got the last time?
Yeah, a big part of it is like that. I think we didn't lose the final as a whole. We played good cricket majority of the game, but we lost critical moments within the final, and that cost us. But there was a time also when the game is going on, you kind of like realize, you know what, things are just not going your way. you lose 2 wickets or 3 wickets in 4 balls, you're like, oof. You just need a bit of partnership here to just pull it through.
Yeah.
And then you put down a catch, and then a great catch that they wouldn't normally. You get to a mindset of going, maybe this is just not it. Maybe this is not our time.
So similar to the men's team who went unbeaten until the final.
Yeah.
And then the final, you could just tell that, it's going to fall apart. It's going to be the same thing. I mean, you don't want to use the C word again, but it got to that. And there was nothing they could do. It was just not their day.
Yeah. We all wanted. And I think I was at the coaches conference 2 weeks ago, and Shuk said it, and he says, we must not do things out of desperation. We must still have the passion to think and believe that we're going to win it. As to when that is, only God knows at this moment. But we have to do everything in our power to make sure that we put ourselves in the best possible position to actually win World Cup. And I hope this time around, this will be the case.
Sure. I mean, I'm excited just talking about it. We'll take some of your WhatsApp voice notes if you want to call us directly in studio. The number is 011-883-8947. As we continue our conversation, it's a big one for South Africa, but I think it's one that's been a long time coming. And who knows? 2026 might just be the one.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
In conversation with the Protea women head coach, Mandla Mashimbyi, who is my guest here tonight, to see a couple of voice notes coming through. Yeah, waiting for yours.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Surufulang here. And good evening to the Stabili Shoulders. And good evening to my coach, Mandla Mashimbyi. First and foremost, congratulations on taking, the Proteas women as far as the ODI World Cup final. Looking back at the ODI World Cup, especially now that we're not far from the T20 World Cup, what are some of the lessons that you can take, especially when it comes to, maybe player selection, number one, and how to actually get the job done and make people not refer this team as a team full of bridesmaids and actually get the job done and seek ultimate glory? That is number one. And number two, the preparations for the upcoming T20 World Cup, how are they going? Has there been any setbacks? And most importantly, your overall expectations of what is to come in the upcoming T20 World Cup. That is all that I want to find out from you, my coach. With that being said, I wish everything of the best. I hope that everything goes well. And may you please bring that title back home. Great show as always. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Shulufelang, coach.
Yeah, no, listen, there's always lessons to be learned. I'm a big believer in learning while you're winning. And for me, as much as we didn't bring the trophy back home, this team was a winning team in terms of how they played throughout the tournament. And I think, we just need to identify certain moments within matches and make sure that we play those moments better. But sometimes you need a bit of experience. And also have a squad which doesn't matter which player you put on the field, they will make an impact. And that's what I believe I've got now. Everybody that's there going to England, I know that whenever the opportunity comes for them, they will make a big impact into the team. So the learnings there was just playing certain moments a little bit better. Obviously, T20 cricket is quick. So it means your awareness has to be the same as well. But I think the team that's calm in those moments will find solutions a lot quicker.
All right. I also got a message here from Umpo, says that we are definitely bringing it back this time. Naledi Apani was saying that, good evening, coach. Dane van Niekerk and Shabim Ismail both reversing their retirement to be here for the World Cup. He says, what's changed in the group since they came back, and how are you using their experience to help the younger players and to finally get over the line in the final? I know that we did touch on that before the break, but if there's anything you want to firm up just in terms of that conversation, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think, the job of a senior player is them understanding their relevance in the team structure. Their relevance has changed now. They're no more those players 2017. It's about the knowledge that they impart to their peers, into their peers, and also just understanding that, And environment plays an even bigger role in achieving greatness. And they will play a big role in making sure that environment is fertile at all times. So it's just them, as senior players, understanding their relevance within the team and making sure that they keep everybody calm because they've been there before. So hopefully that will be the case. And that if that happens, I can tell you now, nothing will stop us.
I mean, I remember last time we spoke to you and you spoke with such passion and you said, Rob, listen, remember this name. And I remember writing it down. I was like, Kyle Ranniker, just 20 years old. She's in the squad.
Yeah.
You've chucked her in. 100% deserved to be there. What are you expecting from a 20-year-old with so much talent to rise to the occasion on the world platform and at a World Cup?
I think with the opportunities that she has been given, what she's done is well documented. She has something that a coach will never coach her. And that is something that a coach dreams, or a player that a coach dreams for, is she's got heart. She's got that fighting spirit. And I actually even told her, I said, don't lose that. You can lose your talent, but don't lose that fighting spirit and that heart that you have, that willingness to win and break games open. She's got stupid power. She's got a good cricket brain. So I think, we've got a gem. South Africa is busy producing world-class cricketers at the moment. It's not only her, there's more coming, We've got a lot of under-19 cricketers that are on the way that are going to make big moves in the next few years. And it's just about us making sure that the structure is right for them to grow and become world-class players.
Ayanda Kaka just maintains the consistency. I mean, there's no breaking her. She maintains the form. It doesn't matter what. And, I'm always so happy. She impressed me so much when we had the conversation with her in the studio the last time. What is it about her? I mean, if you had to describe her from a coaching perspective.
Now, if you don't know her or understand her, you could easily just say she's somebody that's very reserved. But there's a lot happening in her head in terms of what she wants to achieve.
Yeah.
And again, when you have a group of players like Aya that know what they want and they'll do everything in their power to make sure that they get it. And it hasn't been the case in the last few years that she's played for South Africa. But I feel like she's found something now again. She's found that hunger, that interest in putting in performances every game or every opportunity she gets. And Aya has got a good cricket brain. She's not a talker. She's a quiet person, but if you tap into that brain, you'll get a lot of knowledge there.
Ayabong, I think the name says it all, eh?
Good evening, Bra Rob, and good evening to the coach. It's Leon here in PE. I've just got a comment only. For me, Laura Wolfhard is one of the greatest sports person that this country has ever produced. We are not making enough noise about how talented Laura Wolfhard is. I mean, how old is she now? 26, 25? I think she's 27. She has 5,000 runs in ODI, over 5,000 runs in ODI cricket. I think she averages over 15 ODI cricket as well. And I know we're talking about T20s here, but in every format of the game, she's wonderful. And I think for me, if we are to win the World Cup, the other batters need to come to the party and support Laura Wolfhard. Maybe the coach can comment on that. They need to come to the party, other batters. It can't always be Laura Wolfhard coming to the party. And it's good to see Shabnim Ismail back. I'm hoping that Marizan Kab will be fit, to bowl at the World Cup as well. Otherwise, good luck to the girls.
I mean, a player that brings a smile to every South African. And I agree with that caller. Says maybe we don't make enough noise about her. Maybe the international world celebrates her more than we do. I think she just recently bagged her third ICC, Player of the Month award. It says something. I mean, since 2025, that's massive. That's solid. And the number of runs that she's been able to put under her belt. Like the voice out said, maybe tell us more. I mean, what is the secret to her success?
She's a special player. She's an absolute beast. There was a time at the World Cup, she started a bit slow. And then I think after 3 games, I think the Pakistan game was the one where she started opening up and putting in performances at the World Cup. But every time I would look at her eyes, there was something that was constant. There was just this focus about her, and there was something in her eye that and then I knew she's locked in. And even now against India, I could see that something in her eye. And then I knew this one is locked in. They're going to catch it. But the thing is about her, I think for me, I mean, other people might have different views about her. Take away the talent, take away the name. Laura doesn't entertain sideshows. She doesn't focus on too many things. All Laura wants is to bet and score runs and perform for this team. That's all she wants.
Make the main thing the main thing.
Keep the main thing the main thing. And every time we have chats, I've never had chat about her where we speak or try and sort out things outside the main thing, which is to perform and score runs and do well for this team. And for me, that is the secret. Is she's able to block out outside noise and really just focus on the game and wanting to improve every time. You've seen the strike rate has grown from what it used to be to where it is now. This is a player that just wants to be the best in the world. And she doesn't focus on anything else. There might be a lot going on. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing is that when it comes to the main thing, which is cricket at the moment, she's locked in.
That's all she wants to do.
She wants to score runs and bet.
I mean, you talked just now about India and the experience. So I look at it and say it also exposed, certain weaknesses under pressure situations. What do you take out of those learnings and those teachings that you want to now panel beat into the experience that's about to happen now?
Yeah, I think it's the thoughts that you entertain in the moment.
Yeah.
And we've had our review chats after the World Cup just to check in with every player and, how was the World Cup for you and where do you feel you went wrong? Where do you feel you can improve? And I think it's when things are tough, that ability to stay true to what you want to achieve and stay in the moment. It's something that was a big learning for me with this team. And also, them holding each other accountable with what needs to happen. And that's why it's so good to have senior players now, because they will push that accountability narrative within the team. And also the other thing, Rob, is to have an identity. I felt that we didn't have an identity. We played good cricket, but we didn't have an identity. And when you don't have an identity, you don't have anything to fall back on when the pressure is on. But when you have an identity or a character as a team, there's always something you can fall back onto.
Hi, Rob. Paul here from Johannesburg. Coach Mandla's done a great job, but I've got 2 questions. One is, with the return of Shubnam Ismail, has the one challenge for Coach Mandla been that express pacer, that lady who can bowl at that express pace? And has that been the challenge for him in the last 2 years? And where are the express paces? I know of Faye Cowling, and obviously I understand Khubi's still in there, so maybe he can touch on that. And then obviously, lastly, it feels the balance of the side with all the all-rounders, right? How is he managing, having all-rounders and also having out-and-out bowlers? Obviously, you've got Lefty, you've got Kaka, you've got Shubnam, and then you've just got all these all-rounders. How is he gonna navigate the balance of the side going into the World Cup? Because we've got a lot of all-rounders.
All right, very balanced one, Paul. Thank you so much indeed for those questions. Maybe let's tackle the one about the all-rounders, the last part of it, then we'll go back to the first part of his question.
Yeah, I think, T20 cricket, you want people that are going to have impact.
Yeah.
And if you've got players that can impact the game with both ball and bat, you're sitting in a good spot as a coach. In terms of balancing the team, it's obviously conditions dictate. It will be about matchups and what we need for those conditions that are presented to us at the time. But I think, it's a headache for me as a coach in terms of which players to go to based on the conditions again, if we need more pace or if we need a spinner. And then also identifying in the all-rounders which ones are bowling all-rounders, which ones are batting all-rounders, and where do you feel you need to cover the gap.
Maybe just a quick one on the express pace that he mentioned. We don't have much time, but maybe you want to just summarize that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Shibs is somebody that does something that not a lot of teams have at the moment, and that X factor that she has, and also the fighting spirit and the attitude that she brings on the field. Those things you can't buy at Pick and Pay, So when you have a player of that caliber, you have to make sure that they're in your team, not against you.
Well, I'm sure you've seen and heard a lot of people, even on social media, listening to the show right now, that there is a massive interest in the women's game. To all the players as well that have been chosen, congratulations. You know what to do. I don't have to come here and preach. You're a World Cup winning potential team that is going out there to do battle. And may that battle be a success for you as well, Coach Mandla. I know what this means in terms of your coaching career as well. So I wish you everything of the best. May you depart with that positive intake of all that you've done in preparation for the World Cup, and wishing you nothing but the best. I haven't seen the trophy with my bare eyes. I would love to have it here in studio when you guys return. So that's my only request, sir.
Thanks for prophesying, Rob, and thanks for the kind words.
Oh, great stuff, man. His name is Mandla Mashimbyi. He is the Protea women's head coach. And wow, what a sterling job he's done thus far. And as I said, everything of the best. This has been Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Soweto Live. At the same time. #MSW.